pass through. Body up the middle, making another move to the outside. 15, 10, end zone again.
Keeps it. Nice move by Brown. He's got space. He's got 6. 35-yard touchdown for Byron Brown. A record-setting night for the South Florida quarterback.
Down so far, a little bit of a high snap. Genty right up the middle. Genty has room. Ashton Genty, give him 6.
Second and long. Lagar tries to fit it in. Runnels, it does. Runnels stays up. The Suns offense 4-3 wheels. Incredible effort for Runnels.
The G5 Hive. All G5, all the time.
Welcome to the G5 Hive Live. We are excited to bring you the G5 college football coverage you love each and every week. I am Luke. Always get my fingers mixed up. I am joined by my co-host, Justice. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're like Eric Froton, who got here early, actually right on time, we just started a little bit late, thanks to me. Make sure you go out and you comment. We'll try to get to everybody's comments as the show goes on. If you have something, please ask. We'll get it out there. And if you're watching us on X, please give us a follow, a like, a retweet. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please rate and review. Justin and I have some big news. We talked about it a little bit last week, but it is a pinned tweet on our X. Justice, do you want to talk a little bit about this before we kind of get into the nuts and bolts?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, our merch store is now available live. I will put the link in the comments. I literally just got the word probably 5 minutes ago from the provider that it's available. So yeah, if you want to support us, the best ways to support the work that we do here is number 1, go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and number 2, visit the merch store, get yourself some sweet gear. We got shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve, performance shirts, fleeces, hoodies, all the above. So yeah, visit the merch store. The link is in the video comments on YouTube. It's also pinned to our Twitter page, X page, whatever you want to call it. It's a twin. It's pinned to the top there, so you can find the link there. So yeah, super excited about that. We don't have hats yet. The hats that Luke and I ordered were kind of a one-off kind of thing. If there's a demand for hats, I can talk to the hat guy. The hat guy is a different provider than the shirt guy.
You gotta have a hat guy, you gotta have a shirt guy, and as Chris Carter always mentioned, gotta have a fall guy. Gotta have those 3.
Absolutely. But yeah,
well, Justice,
big news, man.
And I don't know, maybe bigger news. Not sure where you stand on it, but ODU. It's been a while since there's been a home game. You're a season ticket holder. You gotta go to the game, and you're rewarded with a win.
Yeah, it's been a month since a home game. I have media rights to Old Dominion football, so I get to go to the press conference. I haven't used it to go on the field yet because, like, I don't have a super nice camera, and I don't want to sit there and look like I'm taking pictures with my cell phone, and all these folks out there taking pictures with their nice cameras. So I just kind of sit in my season tickets, and then I go to the post-game press conference, man. But what a game. I don't know if folks watched that game, but, I mean, the defense played phenomenal. They held Texas State scoreless in the first half. It's 14-0 at halftime. They just really, they played really well. They got after Jordan McLeod, kind of held the receivers down. The one guy, man. So we interviewed Ismail Mahdi back, I don't know, January, February timeframe. I got to see him in person, and my God, he's good. He's good. He ran, I think, for like 145 yards. He was getting, like, it seemed like 6 to 10 yards a carry. And almost every time we were stopping him with like a shoestring tackle. And I told my friend, like, you know, in the first quarter, I was like, man, that's not going to continue, right? He's going to break one of these because, like, how often can you just keep shoestring tackling the guy? Well, they kept doing it throughout the game. I don't think it's a great recipe for success in the future, but it worked on Saturday. But yeah, Ismati was, man, he was impressive to see in person. But yeah, Old Dominion got the win, and then pretty special because it brings up a huge game Thursday night. The game is on national TV, ESPN2 versus Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern is undefeated in Sun Belt play, #1 in the Sun Belt East. Old Dominion is in second in the Sun Belt East with a couple other teams. So if Old Dominion can get that win, they'll be tied for first. And they'll have the tiebreaker over Georgia Southern. It's Military Appreciation Week. The coaches show tonight was done in a submarine, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, which is pretty cool, right? And then this past week, they unveiled some pretty sweet new uniforms for homecoming. They were Hudson Blue, as ODU calls it, with the old retro racetrack logo, a white helmet with the Hudson Blue ODU racetrack logo and Hudson Blue stripes. I don't know, just a cool week, man, and a huge game Thursday night coming up. So yeah, it's a good time to be an Old Dominion fan. Hopefully, we can knock off the Eagles on Thursday night. If you didn't watch that game, there was a point in the game where ODU was up by 3, and I think there was like a minute 59 left, and it was 4th and 2. ODU had the ball on their own, I don't know, 30-yard line or so. And the decision was kick the field goal, go up 6, or go for it. They took a timeout. I told my dad, I said, Ricky Ronnie's going to kick the field goal. He's just so conservative. That's what he's going to do. He didn't. They went for it. They got it. Colton Joseph got another touchdown to put them up by even more. But in the post-game press conference, someone asked Ricky about that call. And he said, you know, to my own detriment, and my agent's not going to like this, but I want to be honest with you guys, I was going to kick the field goal. And I just kind of started laughing to myself a little bit because I was like, yeah, I know you were. And he talked through it through. Some of these folks were definitely in his ear, I would assume. He didn't say who, but he kind of said, well, you know, that only puts us up 6. Touchdown still beats us. You know, I figured, you know, Kenny's going to, you know, go for the touchdown. And so when you know, even if we were only up 3, he's not going to kick that field goal. He goes, I wanted to be up more than 3. And so that's ultimately why they went for it. Yeah, it wasn't, but I guess the funny thing for me was I wasn't shocking to hear him say I was going to kick the field goal. But, you know, ultimately other folks were able to get to him, and they were, in my opinion, they were right. You know, what's the difference between 3 and 6? Not a whole lot. And Colton Joseph got a touchdown. They win by 10. So that's like the first time they've won by more than one score in a really, really long time. But yeah, it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, excited for Thursday.
All right. Well, you also got to ask your first question in the post conference or the post game press conference.
I did. So for the first time this year, there were different players. So every other home game, the 2 players that they brought in after Coach Ronnie were Aaron Young, running back, and Koa Nawatoloa, linebacker. So that's the only players we had seen in the post-game press conference. This time they had Colton Joseph, the redshirt freshman quarterback. They had Jerron Manning, the safety, and Marcus Knight, linebacker. And I've been a big fan of Jerron Manning. He's one of the best safeties in college football, if you know, much less just a G5. We do our 2020 players each week. Jerron Manning is the #1 safety on that. And he's not just the #1 safety in the G5 in adjusted net yards. He's the #1 safety in all of college football. He tackles, he covers, he does it all. I just hope that Old Dominion can hold on to Jerron Manning. He seems to really love it here. And hopefully that'll go a long way at the end of the year, because there's no doubt in my mind that some big schools with some big money are going to come calling for Jerron Manning. But nonetheless, yeah, so Jerron Manning was one of the players, and I asked him a question just about his mentality and coverage. You know, folks always talk about how well he tackles. He led the team in tackles, 14 tackles. He's great in run support, but folks don't understand how great he is in coverage as well. So I asked him, a question about his mentality and coverage, and basically said, it's a me versus them thing, and I'm going to win. I want to be the winner, and so it's just that's kind of what it is. But yeah, that was the first question I asked in the press conference. So that was cool, and it was to Jerron Manning, and hopefully, hopefully one day in the near future, we'll have Jerron on for an interview. But yeah, good stuff.
All right.
Yes, Billy. Thursday night, ESPN2, 7 p.m. The game's at Old Dominion. Like I said, Military Appreciation Week. They're doing this whole drone show at halftime. No idea if the drone show is going to be on television or not, but just great stuff.
All right. Well, let's leave last week back there. Let's go forward to week 9 and our previews. We've got the midweek G5 matchups. We've got Sam Houston versus Florida International tomorrow or today, depending on when you're listening to that, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I think Sam Houston is going to go in there. Again, short week. Don't think we're going to see Hunter Watson out there. If I'm Sam Houston, I'm running the ball. I'm getting in and out of that stadium as fast as I can. Do what I got to do to win. And FIU is going to probably try to toss the ball around because they haven't had much success running the ball. But Sam Houston's defense has been playing pretty well, so I'm anticipating Sam Houston to get the W here.
Yeah, and speaking of FIU, they are Vice U this week. They are unveiling their white Vice Miami Vice inspired uniforms.
Last year was black, right?
Last year was black. I like the black ones better. The black ones had like palm trees and other stuff on them. But these are pretty cool uniforms. They have redone the turf on the field in the Miami Vice colors, the blue and the pink. They got boats. I think last year they had Lambos. This year they got boats. I saw them parking boats on the field. So yeah, if you haven't had a chance to watch a Conference USA game, watch this one, man. You're gonna get to see some pretty sweet uniforms. I'm sure the FIU team's gonna come jacked up. Hopefully Keon Jenkins is healthy, and we can get a good matchup here with Sam Houston and FIU tomorrow night at 7:30.
I know they're not related, but like when I see those Miami Vice things, I think of the show Chips. Again, no, they're not related. I just think of like
the Chips was in Southern California, yeah.
But I just think of them right around on
We're showing our age talking about Chips, Luke.
Well, I'm that's I guess a product of my environment. I'm 35, so like I wasn't really around when Chips, but like my dad was always watch it. But anyways, all right, I digress. Get back into more of our midweek G5 matchups. We've got UTEP at Louisiana Tech Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. UTEP going to La Tech. I like Louisiana Tech in this one.
Louisiana Tech's favored by 6.5. That seems a little high to me. Over under a 50.5.
I mean, I would expect to. I probably expect 3.5 would be my guess.
I would have guessed like 4, maybe 4.5. Pushing it 6.5 seems a little high to me. Louisiana Tech coming off that loss to New Mexico State, UTEP getting their first win, and sometimes you see it, right? The team gets that first win, gets them kind of over that hump, helps build that confidence, and so yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if UTEP wins the game.
All right, and then Wednesday we've got the undefeated Liberty Flames versus the only defeated Kennesaw State Owls. Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to go ahead and take Liberty on the road in this one.
Yeah, Liberty's favored by 25.5. over under 46.5. I don't know that Kennesaw State's going to score that many points. Something that just doesn't, like, between the spread and the totals, doesn't jive with me, because I don't see Kennesaw State scoring double-digit points at all.
All right, and then we've got Middle Tennessee at Jacksonville State, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Give me Jacksonville State in this one. I would assume this game is at 13.5.
Oh, no. It's 21. Jacksonville State's favored by 21.
Wow, that's a big number, though. That's a big number.
That is, but Middle Tennessee looked really, really bad against Kennesaw State last week. Over under 63.5. I don't know. I think Middle Tennessee can possibly keep this closer than that. If the offense got to play better than they did last week against Kennesaw State. But Jacksonville State, I think I don't know that I would be betting the spread on this game, but if I had to, I guess I would lean Jacksonville State, but I wouldn't want to put money on it.
Thursday, huge game. Georgia Southern at Old Dominion, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Justice will be there to watch this in person.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We talked about it earlier. I don't know if there's much more to talk about. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. We spent like 15 minutes talking about ODU at the very beginning. This is a big game. This is a big game for ODU.
It is.
Big game for Georgia Southern.
ODU's favored by 2.
But maybe the biggest game of the season for the G5, as of things that we know, how they've fallen the way they have. It's homecoming for UNLV. It was a Saturday game that they moved to Friday. Several weeks back, because I was going to go to this game because there is a flight that goes from not too far from here in Cedar Rapids out to Las Vegas that leaves at Fridays at 10 p.m. And I was going to go to the game on Saturday, but then they moved the game and it's now at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So I would have missed the game, so could not do that. But Boise State at UNLV, Friday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. It's the game of the week. This is all eyes should be on here. I'm super excited that it's on a Friday and there's not as many other games. What he's just mucking it up. Like let's give everybody the eyes this one deserves. Watch it, tune in. It should be a good one.
Boise State's favored by 2.5. Total 65.5. And I don't know. I think UNLV is going to win this game personally.
Do you think just being at home gives them that edge?
I just think they're a better overall team. I think they're a better overall team, and I think being at home, they've played. I mean, Boise State's played Oregon, but they really haven't played anyone tough other than Oregon. UNLV's played. They played Syracuse. They beat was it Kansas? They beat Oregon State. There's another P4 that I'm forgetting that they beat.
Houston.
Oh man, Houston.
It's
got to be Houston. Yeah. I just think UNLV is the better team. That's what my gut tells me, that they're the better team. Ashton Jeanty, he certainly would never want to count him out. But I think UNLV is going to win this game.
You got Woodard. You got Woodard there at middle linebacker going up against Jeanty. What can Maddox Maxson do to win the game? Because I feel like that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to make him win it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, come back and join us next week as we discuss what happened in Week 9, as well as look forward to Week 10 of the 2024 season. And as always, bring you up to date on all the latest news and happenings in the world of G5 college football. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you're watching us on X, please give us a retweet, a like, and a follow. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please subscribe and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. Remember, we've got our new merch line out there. If you want to support us, go ahead and make a purchase there. Justice dropped the link here in the
The
chat.
link is in the YouTube comments, and it's on it's pinned on our X page.
All right. And with that, we thank you all for your support. And until the next time, we are the G5 Hive.